building castles in the air. That's why I keep on saying, Rosetta, my Rosetta. In my heart, dear, there's no one but you. You told me that you loved me. Never leave me for somebody new. You made my whole life a dream. I pray you make it come true. Rosetta, my Rosetta, please say I'm just the one dear for you. Hey friends, this week we are working on the 1933 Earl Hines tune, Rosetta. Now, you might not be familiar with who Earl Hines is, but you're certainly familiar with people that he worked with over the years. He got his start in the great Louis Armstrong's band, the Hot Five, and then later his band included both Dizzy Gillespie and Charlie Parker. Earl Hines was really instrumental in propelling the swing era into bebop and pushing that harmony, and that's what we're going to talk about a little bit in this video, some different ways of addressing this tune. If you haven't heard this tune before, it was Earl Hines' theme song, but you might better know it from Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys, who recorded it in 1938, and it sort of became their theme song. And Bob Wills liked it so much that he in fact named his daughter Rosetta after this. Now, I have included the vocal verse up front to the beginning of this tune. You don't need to play it, but I think it's a nice verse that's worth learning and kind of puts the song in context. So let's dive into the chorus. What we're going to do here is work out just a little chord melody of the A section and talk about some alternative changes to the A section that Earl Hines would play later in his career that were not always played on the earlier recordings of this tune. So if we look at the A section of this tune, the chorus, we're starting out on an F and then to a C7 sharp 5 to an F, D7th, G7th, C7th. So this is a nice circle progression that we've played a lot of times. This A section is in fact the same as Confessin' or Looking for Another Sweetie. We see this tonic, the F, to the C7 sharp 5, a dominant with a sharp 5 in other tunes such as Sin to Tell a Lie. These are very common harmonic tricks that Earl Hines was using. And in fact, this chord progression even kept going and was recorded as Yardbird Suite for Charlie Parker with Miles Davis. So this is one of those harmonic vehicles that is very important to know because we use it so much throughout the jazz idiom. But there are some alternative changes we can play in this beginning. Instead of playing F to C7 sharp 5 to F to D7th, in his later years, a lot of times, and what most bands now do, is play chromatic changes walking down from the F. So what we'll do is just use a simple bar chord to make this work, and we're going to talk in a second about the rhythmic hits that you would also generally play along with this. So we start on an F chord, but we're actually going to play the F chord up here. So it's going to be the same as our C major shape. You know, this would be C major, and we're just going to bring it up, bar across the 5th fret, and then go up to the 8th fret with our pinky. So that would be our C major shape, and don't mind my fingers being curled back. We wouldn't do that in actual practice. And then we're going to walk this down as a dominant 7th chord shape afterwards. So we're going to go E 7th, which would be 4 4 4 5, E flat 7th, 3 3 3 4, and then finally we land on our D7th where we want to get. So this is functioning exactly the same but has a different sound. So I'm going to play both versions for you. I'm going to play just the original chord changes and then I'm going to play the chromatic changes for you. So here are our regular ones. So F, C7 sharp 5, F, D7. Works just fine. But here's with those chromatic changes. So it'd be F, E7, flat 7th, D7th. So we just get that really tense movement going down. And usually we would play it with rhythmic hits. We wouldn't even strum through those chords. It'd be Rosetta, my Rosetta. As we walk down, we would do a hit on every other 1. So 1, and then switch the chord again to get there. So this is something that you can do throughout the tune. You don't have to. Either set of changes works, and that's the joy of this music, is we can really switch things up and play whatever we would like on that. So what we can do is this A section actually lends itself really well to just a basic chord melody with fairly simple chords that we likely know. So our pickup is an A note, and then we're gonna go to an F. So root position F, but we're gonna put our third finger down on the C on the A string. So our first chord as our pickup will strum to C, 6th chord. Rosetta, and then we'll just strum through. And then we'll hit our C7 sharp 5 here, but we need to walk up, we need to go. So we need to go E, D, so 7th fret, 5th fret, and strum. We're on a C major chord still, so we can just strum everything through. So here's your first couple bars. And then as we get to the D7th, we're strumming through everything else here. We don't have a melody. We're gonna hit the D7th, and then we're gonna go up to a D9 chord. So our D9 chord is 5, 6, 5, 7. It's just our D7th chord shape here that you've likely played, based around our A7th chord shape, just slid on up and barred. And then we're just adding the 9th or the E. And we're gonna strum that, and then we're just gonna pick that up, and we'll have the D7th, so we'll have a D. And then as we get down to our G, we're going to play a G with an added A in here, a G 9th. So we have open, 2, 1, open. And we're gonna strum that twice, and then we're gonna hit the D, which is the 2nd fret of our C string, which is already down. And then we have our C 6th chord again. And then we resolve to the F right there. So let me play this whole chord melody nice and slow for you, because these open position chords, minus that D7th, we don't really have a whole lot of tricky chord work going on here. And that's it. That's our entire A section of the tune in just a basic chord melody style, utilizing the majority of the chords that we used in the strumming version of that. And that's something that I really like to do, and I think is really important when you're supporting yourself as a vocalist, is to understand how the melody and the harmony play together, so that you can add that melody into your playing, even if you are just strumming chords. It makes the entire sound more cohesive because we have this nice connection between harmony and melody. I'll see y'all next week.